This is my 2017 BMW 340i that we bought abandoned right next to someone's house. It was purchased from Copart and then it was given up on. Thanks to that, I was able to pick it up for only $8,000. And after taking my chances and rebuilding it, we brought it back to life. And well, this is how it looks like today. And next to it, we have a car I don't feel comfortable being around. A 2022 STO. And this car's worth over $500,000. Lamborghini's finest engineering distilled into one wild machine. Best defined as a street-legal race car, packing 631 horsepower. Oh my god! From a screaming 5.2-liter V10. With only 2,500 to 3,000 units in existence, it's rare, it's raw, and everything Lamborghini is meant to be. And well, I'm gonna try to make my BMW make more horsepower than this car by the end of this video. Now, the reason I'm doing all that to my BMW is because I could never afford this car. And I'm literally scared of being inside here because if I scratch anything, Elliot's gonna kill me and I'm gonna go bankrupt. But this thing is insane. Mine's definitely not gonna sound that good though, for sure. But before we do absolutely anything, we need to fix an issue everybody talks about. I know. And that's with the help from our friends over at Industries. This car is in a desperate need for front wheels. Not only does it look really bad, these front wheels are old and very, very dry rotted. If we're gonna make a lot of horsepower, we need to make sure we're safe. Step one, to making more horsepower than that Lamborghini, we need to at least look the part, right? This moment right here when the car finally gets its front wheels is big. It's bigger than Ronaldo's first. It's bigger than Vin Diesel the first time he said family. Family. If you're wondering where all the people on Instagram with the cool wheels are getting them, or your favorite automotive YouTuber, or just anybody, it's Fitment Industries. Why? Because it is the best spot to get wheels and tires. They can mount them for you. They have a whole gallery section where you can see what your car would look like, on what wheel, on what setup, on what spec. To be honest, it should be legal. It is a complete monopoly because no one does it like they do. All I gotta do is plug and play. I'm gonna be honest, I could have gotten a lot of different wheels for this car. But since we've pretty much changed everything about the car from when we originally purchased it, I figured, why don't we leave one of the pieces that the car came with? And that is the wheels. You thought you guys were desperate for wheels? I've been desperate for the wheels. One thing for sure is I hope that it's not raining this bad when we're street tuning the car because I'm simply not gonna do it. Hopefully the weather gets better. And if you're wondering what wheels these are, they are ESR RF2s. So if you like them enough to purchase your very own set, do so through Fitment Industries and select me as the creator at the end of your checkout. These wheels really complete the car. Unfortunately, not everything's going as planned. What the heck? This car literally sounds like it's falling apart. I wonder if the wheels are hitting the brace or maybe the strut. Oh. I guess it's not hitting the strut, which is really weird because what could be the sound? But either way, we purchased some 15mm spacers. The fitment's gonna look really nice and I'm hoping it fixes the issue with the noise. Never seen anything like this. Wow. Oh, I think we found the issue. The wheel is literally stuck on the strut. Like, it doesn't even move. Whoa, well, that's our issue. The wheel was completely getting eaten up by hitting the strut. That is insane. Definitely explains that sound. Okay, so it spins, but I'm afraid it's gonna touch. No, I do know that suspension is shot. Like, literally, the struts leak. But for now, just the spacer should do the trick for us. But success! Woo! And look how good this looks. The car pretty much looks complete. We've honestly been waiting so long for this moment, and I'm gonna be honest, it looks absolutely amazing. I mean, look at the fitment in the front as well. I love it. It is time to make more horsepower, baby. Let's go. So far, you saw me get rid of this tiny little turbo the car comes with and throw in a massive top mount Speedtech single turbo kit. Now, yes, that's one step to making more horsepower than a Lamborghini. And here is the next massive step towards making over 600 wheel horsepower. Whole new fuel system. Yes, Nostrum and Precision Raceworks. Two of the best companies out there when it comes down to fueling for your car. Eesh, oh man. These two boxes are very, very fragile. Are you guys ready? I am beyond honored to have this right here. I believe I'm the first customer right now that has this newly released Precision Raceworks bigger high pressure fuel pump for the B58 platform. And to go along with the most affordable and highest flowing high pressure fuel pump, you already know we had to go with the Nostrum Stage 1 injectors. They should be perfect for the car. Here we have some, look at that, much needed instructions. Woo! Not only do we look good, we want to make some power, baby. This high pressure fuel pump is groundbreaking. It offers the best performance to price ratio on the market. It flows an insane 70% better than your stock fuel pump. Not only that, it has a potential of around 1,000 horsepower on 93 octane. The high pressure fuel pump and the Nostrum injectors are going to be linked in the description. It is compatible with E85 and you can install it yourself, like I'm gonna attempt to do. I should be okay though. I believe in myself. We got this. And I know I'm pretty much the first customer with this pump, but it has been tested rigorous that you could, and it offers 4% more fuel than the big bore high pressure fuel pump. We're doing things big out here. Here we go. The high pressure fuel pump is back here. That's the easiest thing to get to. So I'm thinking, remove everything. Let's do the injectors, which is a little bit more tricky, and I need to remember how I did it last time, and we'll go from there. Let's go. So step one is actually to disconnect the battery because the fuel system's always priming, so we don't want to get squirted with fuel.
No squirts happening today, my friend.
Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. But step one is to pretty much get everything out of the way because we need as much room as possible. And the fuel lines in the back because if you don't remember, we still have to install our flex fuel kit because we are going to be running E40, 40% ethanol.
Disconnect all the coil packs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. All 6 out.
The camera didn't record me unbolting these. They look good though, and 0 oil. Man, I am nervous. I really don't know how much horsepower we're going to make, but I'm really hoping we make more than the 630 that the Lamborghini makes. Well, comment down below, what is the highest horsepower car you've ever been in?
Not bad. Could have been worse. So this is the line that we're replacing, by the way.
This fuel rail is just being held on by a bunch of E-sockets. Once you take them out, it comes right up. First fuel roll is off. And now we get a nice view of the injectors. Unfortunately, we can't just remove them. We need a special tool. Yeah. Like, come on, BMW, a special tool? But big thank you to Sebastian. He let us borrow this one. Let's figure this out. I have no idea what I'm even looking at. Like, yes, I did this about a year ago on the other 340i. But if you guys don't know me, I have very bad memory. And I don't remember what I have to do. So I'm going to look at my own video and figure it out.
And fuel roll number 2. Comes right off.
Yeah, I really can't miss. But basketball fans, it is that time of year where upsets shake the brackets and the action is simply non-stop. If you think the drama on the court is wild, wait till you hear the deal we have with our partner for today's video, DraftKings Sportsbook. Once again, thank you, DraftKings. In partnership with DraftKings, they're bringing new customers an incredible deal. Bet just $5 and you're going to instantly get $200 in bonus bets. There's no waiting, just straight into the action. Then, if you want to go big, use the bonus bet on same game parlays. You stack your bets for an even bigger payout. Or you can also jump into live betting and make your picks as the game unfolds. Well, what are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use code DannyZ when signing up. And when you bet $5, you will instantly get $200 in bonus bets. That is code DannyZ when signing up. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Thank you, DraftKings, for sponsoring this video, allowing all this to be possible. And thank you guys for being so amazing and always allowing this partnership to go on and on and on. With that being said, we need to make that car a supercar slayer faster than the Lamborghini. And we have a lot of things to do. Let's get going.
Yes, I am using a vacuum on the engine bay because it is full of leaves. I'm thinking since it was sitting for so long, pretty much in the woods, all the leaves, crap, probably rats, everything got inside of this engine bay. So it is an absolute mess. And we don't want any debris to go inside the injector holes and right on top of the piston when we remove the injectors. That's not going to be very good. But okay, here we go, the injector tool. Pretty much how it works is this little bottom piece goes over the injectors and locks itself. Then all you have to do is unscrew the top and the injector should come up. Unfortunately, it's not working for us because I did forget something. This little piece right there, I forgot to put that on. And obviously that keeps the plate in place so you can pull up the injectors instead of the plate going down towards the injectors, which was the issue we were having.
Oh boy, so I guess I didn't vacuum to my best abilities, or there was just dirt in places where I didn't see it. And we have a slight, very bad issue. There is a leaf or something inside where the injector sits. Oh my gosh.
Everybody stay calm.
On a scale from 1 to bad,
What in the world? There's an alien looking thing inside the injector hole. This is exactly why you need to make sure everything is clean around. I thought it was, but it wasn't. Sometimes in life, you just have to get creative with what you got. We used this glove to put it really tight around the vacuum and the injector hole, and thankfully it created enough suction to pull up the debris, and now we have a clean hole. What in the world? Yeah, it happened again. Thankfully this time, we had a solution.
Six injectors out, 0 casualties. But this gorgeous set of injectors can't just simply go on the car. There's a very important step that we need to do. What's the difference between the old one and the new one? As you can see, the O-ring isn't snug on the new one. So we gotta make it snug. As snug as it gets. Oh!
And how we do this is pretty simple. We oil up the O-ring, and then there's this little special tool that you slide the injector into, and it pretty much compresses the O-ring in place where it needs to be. And we should be good to go, after obviously doing it to all 6 injectors.
Not sure where it goes yet, but we also got this nice new fuel line. This thing ain't never leaking. Sheesh.
Since the injectors are pretty much ready to go in, I do want to remove the OEM small, horrible, high-pressure fuel pump the car comes with, so we can throw in the gauntlet. To remove it, there's one fuel line in the back, another one in the front that goes to the fuel rail, one little connection, and it is being held on by 2 bolts. After all those things are disconnected, the high-pressure fuel pump is also ready to come out.
Okay, out with the old OEM one, and in with the new Precision Raceworks. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at the difference. Wow. Now it does come with the new plates, and it's a little bit taller, and new bolts. So I believe the adapter plate goes first. And if you're wondering how I know which direction, I actually don't. I'm literally assuming it goes like this.
Step 1 is throwing the plate. Step 2, you want to get the alignment tool that the kit actually comes with to make sure the plate is sitting in place perfectly, because a high pressure fuel pump needs to fall right into a precise location. Next up, we bolt down the plate, and yes, I am using blue thread locker in all these bolts. And now the funnest part is put everything back to how it was before.
Just like that, done. Pretty much done. All we have to do is put back the cowl, things like that. And I did mention we have the flex fuel system for the car. It arrived 3 weeks ago and I can't find it. So I'm gonna snap my fingers, and after I snap it, I'm praying that we're installing the flex fuel kit. 3, 2, 1. I found the fittings. Yeah, thankfully. They were actually in a box right back there. It took me a couple hours to find them, but we found them. And how this works is very simple. We're pretty much tapping into the fuel system with these 360 lines so we can throw on the ethanol sensor so we know how much ethanol we have in the car, which as soon as we're done with this, we have to go to the E85 gas station and kind of figure that out. And we also have a pressure for the low pressure side of the car. All the fun, go fast parts.
Since we are going to be running E40, we need this ethanol sensor. It measures the ethanol content in the fuel, letting the ECU adjust timing, boost, and fueling for maximum power, but also safety. And with the help of MHD and David tuning the car, this thing is going to be an absolute beast. And all these 360 fittings allow us to pretty much integrate the flex fuel kit OEM style. Everything clicks right onto the stock fuel system and right into the ethanol sensor. No sketchiness going on, nice quality fittings, also from Precision Raceworks. And how the ethanol sensors talks to the car is through the motive reflex kit, which we installed in the previous video. Think of it as a standalone brain for the fuel system. Alongside the ECU, it controls port injection, flex fuel, and is also going to be our boost controller. Unfortunately, it's one more thing that couldn't go wrong if I didn't install everything properly. There's countless of people that always have issues with them, but I guess we're only gonna find out if I did it properly once we start tuning the car.
Rate the engine bay from a 1 through 10. Let me know. Did we do a good job? In my defense, 90% of the wiring you see is just how it comes from factory, but all these wires right here, it is aftermarket. I think I did a pretty decent job. We still gotta put back the cowl so you won't see a lot of it. Even back here, the ethanol sensor and the 0 to 10 bar pressure and all that, it's nice tucked in. You won't be seeing that. Step 2 or step 3, I'm not sure. Flash the base map and start the car. Make sure there's no gas leaks. We have to give a massive thank you to our tuner, David. Him and Sebastian pulled some strings, and we're gonna get this car tuned in just a little bit. So we gotta get everything going. Flash a custom map.
Stop it.
Here we go. This is a big moment. This map pretty much has it selected so we can start using the reflex and make sure we're reading everything properly coming from it, as well as the ethanol sensor and all that fun stuff. Another awesome thing I love about these cars, and I'll never get over it, is how with your phone, you can flash all these insane things into the ECU and the car will start acting completely different.
Boom, done. Let's go. Okay. The coding isn't over yet. One of the things I noticed on the Lamborghini STO was how hard and how insanely quick it shifted. Whoa! Well, BMW has something called XHP, which tunes how quickly your transmission shifts. Now, yes, our transmission is just temporarily fixed. If the temperatures get too high for too long, it could potentially break once again. But when we're tuning over 600 horsepower, we're throwing all the transmission tunes at it. We're going stage 3, transmission tune with XHP. There's 4 stages, stage 0, 1, 2, and 3. We're going for the 3rd one. Boom, flash now. If all that's 15 megabytes, it's what's gonna let this car shift faster, if not just as fast as the Lamborghini. That's pretty funny.
I honestly cannot wait to see how quickly this car is going to shift.
Okay, let's start up the car. That's normal since there was no fuel in the fuel system. Should be running okay.
Everything looks great, sounds good. There's no leaking coming from the flex fuel kit, which is great. Oh wait, there is a small leak coming from the high pressure fuel pump.
I see a fuel leak. I see a fuel leak.
Wow, thank God we caught that, because that is leaking right onto the exhaust.
Look at that.
Thankfully, I believe the fix is just going to be removing this line that goes to the fuel rail and putting it back.
Here we go. It's probably gonna crank for a long time again. Or not. All right. No leaking, please.
And would you look at that? No leaks, baby. Let's go. Fuel leak is up there for one of the scariest things you could think of. Thankfully, we don't have to deal with it.
She's alive and no leaking. Let's go. I gotta show this because it's really important. We got a turbo guard, but not like a filter, just a straight up guard. So this is needed because the turbo is gonna be spooling at such high speeds. I don't want it to suck anything in there and mess anything up. Got this off of Amazon. It was like 20 bucks. You could go and spend $200 on a cool looking one, but I'm okay with a simple looking one. Sheesh.
This turbo guard looks really good, especially for $23, but I'm just hoping its performance is as good as its looks. Here we go. The car is ready. And now part 2 of the whole process is we gotta go to the gas station to finally fill up the car with E, aka ethanol, for the very first time. And the car so far is driving like an absolute dream. Like, we literally never touched anything, and that's such a good sign. But you may be wondering,
I'm not gonna push the car. I'm gonna drive very, very carefully, 30 minutes away for some E5.
why are you filling up the car with ethanol to make more horsepower? Okay, let's do this and learn together. E40 makes more power than 93 octane because ethanol just has a higher octane rating, allowing the engine to run more boost and timing without it knocking. More timing means the spark ignites earlier in the combustion cycle, creating a stronger, more efficient explosion, which is great. Bigger boom, more power. But what does more boost mean? That one's pretty simple. The turbo forces in extra air, letting the engine burn more fuel, making even more power.
Now we just gotta pump E85 until we get 40% ethanol. The car right now is currently like obviously 9 or 10. Ooh, this car looks killer though.
And that's how we're gonna beat a Lambo, through science. But thankfully, due to the ethanol sensor, we can fill the car with 93 or ethanol. We just need to know that when the car's at 40% ethanol, that's when it's making its peak power.
I feel like a scientist. Like we gotta be mixing fuel levels and get the right ethanol.
And how do we know the ethanol percentage? Thankfully, the reflex is working properly as well as the sensor, because when we open the MHD app, we can see that the ethanol content is going up because, well, we just added ethanol. Once that reaches 40%, we're good to go for the tuning. Unfortunately, all the footage got lost, but Sebastian and I test drove the car, and unfortunately, it didn't drive how it should have. It wasn't feeling right.
But here's the thing though, Sebastian, I'm putting 41% duty cycle on top of an 8-pound spring, so at a minimum it should be like 12 anyway. So I'm putting all that workload on it. Everything from a reflex standpoint is set up correctly. This is all good to go.
But I found issue 1 out of 2. I forgot to plug this hole. This is a massive boost leak coming straight from the wastegate, which explains why the car takes forever to hit boost, and well, it doesn't hit as much as it should be. And issue number 2 is we put a small wastegate spring.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take off a wastegate because we gotta make some power.
Think of your wastegate like a bouncer at a club. The spring is his strength. An 11-pound spring is a weak bouncer, barely holding back the crowd. So the Mac solenoid, his backup, has to work extra hard to keep boost in check. But if you swap a 15-pound spring in there, now the bouncer is stronger, handling more boost on its own, so the solenoid can chill, less stress, more stable power, and not overwork. And now the Mac solenoid can do its real job, adding even more boost. How it works is pulsating air pressure to keep the wastegate closed longer, forcing more exhaust through the turbo. More exhaust equals more spin equals more boost. Unfortunately, the wastegate is all the way down there. Thankfully though, we are working on a newer BMW, so it might be easier to get to.
Yes. Okay, that's off. Whew. Wastegate dump. is off. Here's the V-band clamp for that. When putting everything back, I am probably gonna have to get under the car, but for now, I think we can take it out from up here.
Thankfully, the wastegate is only being held on by one V-band clamp. Crazy enough, I think we can get it out from the top of the car. To put it back though, we are going to have to get under it, but for now, we just focus on taking it off, removing the spring, and putting in a stronger spring, aka a stronger bouncer. Don't forget.
Okay. Whew, we got it off. I dropped it.
And I do not want to mess up where the vacuum lines go. So to remember, we're going to be using Cristobal's nail polish. To open up the wastegate is very simple. It's just being held down by a couple Allen bolts. When removing them, it comes right up.
Things are getting really interesting. So inside the wastegate, I had a combination of a white spring and a green spring, I believe. I think. I'm pretty sure. But either way, there is no combination on the spring chart with a single white spring and another color spring. The white spring is always combined with 3 other springs, meaning I don't even know how much pressure I put inside this wastegate when I first installed it. So what we're going to do is put 15.95 PSI into this.
And after looking at the chart, spring rate for this very wastegate, 15.9 pounds is a red spring, a yellow spring, and a black spring. The hard part though is pressing down with one hand and tightening with the other. Thankfully, Papa Z came through once again.
Okay, Sebastian's on his way, almost here. What we're going to be doing is flashing back to the map where we're only on wastegate. The car should hit 15.95 pounds of boost, and if that's the case, then we're good to go. We're good for the dyno. We're good to tune the car. If it doesn't, then we have a leak somewhere or something's just not right.
Okay, here we go. We need to hit 15 pounds of boost.
We're going in 4th gear. All right, so we should be hitting 15-ish PSI. We're good?
Yep. Drive to the private test facility. Oh, we're going manually.
Let's go! Even though the GoPro froze, we hit 15 pounds of boost. Exactly what we needed to know to make sure everything is working properly.
Let's run it back and see how it does. Just run it to like 4,500.
Okay.
If it doesn't overboost, it only goes up to say like 22 or 23 pounds, right? It doesn't overshoot our target.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're welcome to run it out a little further.
This is how you make 9 more PSI. You go to Flash Custom Map, 1.4. Boom.
Okay, well, the tuner just threw 7 or 8 more pounds of boost at it. Let's see how it reacts.
Alright, here we go. Oh god.
Let's just do this at the dyno, please.
Yeah, I think we're gonna.
No, bro.
This car just spun in 4th gear. I am not going to risk putting this car on the tree. We're okay, but let's see how the car sounds.
This car scares the crap out of me. Dyno time, let's go.
Man, I am so proud as to how far this car has come. Not only does it look stunning and unique with the headlights, we're about to make some big power. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a dyno to get to. But hey, here we go. Did a little prayer. I hope that everything goes great on the dyno.
All right, just made it. I actually had to go back home because I forgot batteries for the camera, but let's put this car on the dyno finally. The fastest car that has been on that dyno that I owned was a 370Z, which made 606 wheel horsepower. We just gotta make more than 606. Here we go, the moment we've all been waiting for.
But before the moment, this car needs to be put into a dyno mode. Yes, you heard that right. We have to put it in a mode called start roller so it doesn't freak out about the fact that it's on a dyno. Very strange. We're taking off the pops. I feel like they're not necessary on the dyno. I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, we all noticed something that could be really bad. As you can see, the driver's side rear wheel is very wobbly to the point where the dyno operators were really questioning what was going on.
I don't like where this is going.
That's the one wheel I didn't change. Yeah. All right, we got a wobbly wheel, which isn't great.
Now me, I always knew this car drove a little weird, but I always thought it was the shot suspension. And since we have brand new coilovers going on, I was pretty much just waiting it out until we throw them on. But I guess it is actually a bent rear wheel. And now it makes sense why it was spinning a little more than we thought. This car's even spinning on the dyno? To help with the spin though, we did lower the tires. It should be good now. Run number one, nothing crazy, just a little test run, but it made 462 wheel horsepower with 553 torque at 4,500 RPMs.
That is insanely crazy. And everything's good so far. We sent the first run to David, and he's working his magic. If you guys want to get tuned by anybody, hit up David. He's the absolute best. Here's his Instagram. Here's Sebastian's Instagram. They work together. Hit them up if you want to get your BMW tuned. Bro, I had to cover my ears.
My ears are blowing out.
595?
This car already made 595 horsepower. Pretty much 600. How?
So that came extremely quick. The car's already basically at 600 wheel horsepower. We're throwing 2 more pounds of boost. Let's see how much it makes. Oh my gosh. During the game interview.
Things are going great. I'm not trying to jinx it or anything, but she's making power. David told me a number he's trying to hit, but I'll keep it a surprise.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Here we go. It says going to be the 600 wheel horsepower run. Oh, dude, let's go. 630 wheel with 600 torque. Like, if you're not tuned by David, you're simply not living life the right way.
If it ain't tuned by Shoop, it's Boop.
This car is already the fastest car I've ever owned.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we know the Huracan STO has 640 to the crank, not even wheel, so we have 630 wheel. So the challenge is pretty much over. We did it.
And since the dyno is an hourly pay, us and David are trying to be as efficient as possible. After every run, he sends over the map, we flash it through the phone very quickly, and we make the run on the car. Well, the car downshifted for some reason, but that sure sounded insane. It's pretty much an airplane taking off. I don't care what anybody says. One of the best sounds ever is a loud turbo whistle with some nice exhaust tone in the background. I mean, it does not get better than this. If you haven't already, you have to hit that subscribe button. We're almost at 300,000.
This pass is gonna let us know if we're done for today or if we can do a little bit more. But so far, I did not expect this car to make 640 wheel horsepower with 625 torque. That's insane, y'all. I mean, I'm not used to this at all. Pass number like 6 or 7.
Now the horsepower numbers really are creeping up little by little, but David is just mainly dialing everything in so then we can get a big jump.
648 with 615.
All right, so we're gonna overlay this run with the previous run, and then send me a picture of it via text. It's the highest quality picture you can.
Gotcha.
If it doesn't do anything, then we're basically done with Venice tuning.
Yeah. And then what's left is just touch timing a little bit, and then there's a wrap.
Unless he wants to turn it up more, you know, and try for more boost.
Nah.
We got
40 pounds, David. 40 pounds. Very nice.
Oh, you crazy.
681. Nah, there's no way that's real.
Did that spike? That spiked at the end. That spiked at the end.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah. Okay, this says 681, but I think it just spiked at the very end.
Sometimes the car just shifts and that causes a little spike on the dyno, but if we go to where it was right before the spike, this car made a whopping 668 wheel horsepower. I simply can't believe what I'm seeing with my eyes.
Like, you guys got, seriously, you guys got out of it 65, and it looked like it was still creeping. We probably could have got another 10 horsepower out of it.
Yeah.
Are we still in safe territory?
Yeah.
Okay, this might be the last run because that intake pump is only good for like, we're right there. So he pulled 2 degrees of timing. How much power are we gonna make? 673.
We keep going up, baby. 676 wheel with 645 torque. The torque really scares me, but as I was saying, we are running out of fuel from the low pressure fuel pump, which is still stock, crazy enough. Maybe if I knew we were going this high, I would have upgraded a little bit and we 100% would reach the 700 wheel horsepower mark. But here is the final run, number 13. Are we going to make the most horsepower possible, or are we just going downhill from here? We'll see.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last run, number 13, and the car made a whopping. Dun, 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 dun. Here we got Jose, the dyno operator. What do you think about the car? What your opinion?
It's not a Chevy.
Oh yeah, he's an LS guy.
It's making good power. I'm impressed.
It made, if you zoom over here, Sebastian, 686 wheel horsepower with 640 torque. That's over 80 more wheel horsepower than I wanted, or I thought we were gonna make. So that's amazing. This car is kind of scary now, though. But shout out to David, man. He killed it. Great guy. Truly cares about his craft, and he did an amazing job. And Sebastian for being here today, spending time on the dyno. For Jose opening up the dyno. We did it.
And now, here's a word from our tuner.
And I told him what we made, and he's like, holy shit. He's like, that's amazing. He's like, we never ran our stage ones for that high, the injector. And I was like, Steve, we got more in it. I was like, once he puts a low side pump on it, we can go to 700 on the stage ones. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, they're gonna do it on E40. He was super amazed by it. So, but overall, yeah, it was a pretty good day. But that high pressure pump is worth every penny.
Yeah, I mean, it's cheaper than most pumps that are smaller and more expensive.
It honestly has enough flow in it to almost match a Highland can.
Yeah.